Welcome back to Winnie Recap. Today I'm going to explain a movie called The Lobster, which came out in 2015. It is a romance drama movie and it has an audience score of 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is immersive. The film is set in a dystopian future where single people are sent to a hotel where they must find a partner in 45 days or get turned into a wild animal of their choice. David's wife has just left him, and after 11 years of marriage, he's sent to the hotel. Overall, it is a very unique film and a good watch, but before we begin, beware of spoilers. Watch out and take care, and I hope you enjoy the video. The film opens with a woman driving down a road until she reaches a field with two small donkeys. She gets out of her car and shoots one of the donkeys. Then we see David, who checks into the hotel with his brother, who has been turned into a dog. In the city, people are given 45 days to find a romantic partner, or else they are to be turned into an animal of their choice. David meets with the hotel manager and says he would like to be turned into a lobster since they live to be 100 years. The hotel has its own set of rules. First of all, guests cannot date whoever they want. Both parties need to share a common trait. Second, guests cannot pleasure themselves. Third, guests can extend their stay by hunting loners, single people that live in the woods. During breakfast, David observes three women: the heartless woman, who is said to have no emotions, the biscuit woman, who is always seen with a small pack of biscuits, and the nosebleed woman. David becomes acquainted with two men, Robert and John. Later during an assembly, John is called up to speak. Throughout their stay, the singles attend dances to meet one another. They are also given extra time by going on hunts and finding loners. The loners living in the woods have their own leader, just like the hotel. The woods also has its own set of rules. Loners must remain single. In other words, any type of romantic or sexual interaction between loners is not allowed and subject to very harsh punishments. The heartless woman is said to be the best hunter due to her cold and unfeeling nature. Masturbation is restricted at the hotel, and so the men can only receive moderate sexual stimulation from the maid. The hotel manager finds out that Robert was masturbating repeatedly, and she forces him to have his fingers burnt in a toaster as punishment. Meanwhile, John pursues the nosebleed woman by faking a nosebleed problem by banging his face against something. They eventually fall in love and are moved to a bigger room for the two of them. David approaches the heartless woman and makes brash comments regarding the biscuit woman's demise. The heartless woman pretends to choke on an olive from her martini, and when David doesn't try to help her, she decides they are a good match. The two are then moved into a bigger bedroom, though David must continue pretending to be as heartless as she is. They run into John and the nosebleed woman, along with a little girl named Elizabeth, assigned to be their daughter. John tells Elizabeth to give David a kiss, but he responds by kicking her in the shin. One morning, the heartless woman tells David she killed his brother. David pretends to be unmoved, and when he sees the dead dog in the bathroom, he starts crying, and the heartless woman slaps him for lying and asks him why he lied about everything when he knows the foundation of a relationship cannot be built on a lie. She tells him that she is going to tell this to the hotel manager. In the hallway, while she's taking David to the manager, he hits her and escapes. David tranquilizes the heartless woman from behind and drags her into the transformation room with the help of the maid to be turned into an unknown animal. The maid asks David to shoot her with the tranquilizer so that no one suspects her as well. David flees from the hotel and goes into the woods. The next morning, he meets a group of loners, a rebel group against the establishment. The loner leader meets David. She welcomes David and tells him that he can stay with them as long as he wants. She tells him that any romantic interaction between the loners is forbidden and punishable. Afterwards, two loners give David the loner clothes and accessories. David sees one of the loners who has bandages on his mouth and asks him what happened with his mouth. The second loner tells David that he cannot speak because he was given the red kiss. Upon asking, he tells David that it is a punishment where they slash the lips off with a razor and the lips off the other loner because they were flirting with each other. During his stay there, David falls for a short-sighted woman who narrates her encounters with David. David also encounters Robert, who wants to shoot him and bring him back to the hotel. Robert tells David that what he did to the heartless woman was horrible. David explains that she killed her brother and he had to get rid of her. David stalls Robert by telling him that he would have done the same thing to her if she had killed Robert. He tries to manipulate him and tells him that he prefers this lifestyle over companionship because there are no rules. He tries to find his way out by convincing him not to shoot him. He tells him that he is his one true friend. Robert tells him that he is afraid that he has to shoot him because he has no other option left. The short-sighted woman stabs Robert from behind, on his thigh, and knocks him over. David takes his gun and tranquilizes him. The short-sighted woman tells David to not tell anyone that she helped him. David takes off Robert's clothes and takes them with him. It is then revealed that the maid is working with the loner leader and gathering information from the hotel. The maid tells the lone leader that this will be her last mission and she does not want to live in that house. The loner leader agrees with her and tells her that she can join them after the last mission she has planned. Meanwhile, David hunts and catches 2 rabbits for the short-sighted woman and leaves the rabbits next to her while she sleeps. She narrates and tells us that rabbit is her favorite food. The loner takes weekly trips into the city pretending to be couples. David is paired with the short-sighted woman and they are able to go by as a real couple without trouble. They visit a mall and shop for different items. They all eat cake. While shopping, David, standing alone, watches a woman being interrogated by mall security if she's single or is there someone with her. One of the cops sees David standing alone and approaches him. He asks David if he's here alone or visiting with his partner. David tells the cops that he's here with his partner. The cop asks David for his certificate and identification. David tells the cop that he keeps forgetting his certificate and that it is with his partner. The cop asks him about his partner's whereabouts and the short-sighted woman comes. She asks the cop with confidence if he would like to see her certificate with David's certificate as well. The cop feels that they are a couple and goes away. They all head to the lone leader's parents' apartment. They drink tea while the lone leader's father asks her if she's staying with them for a few more days. She tells them that she does not have the time. Her father tells them that his daughter says that the company she works for is a good company and asks them if that is true. David replies and tells them their company and job is great, to sell the idea to the Lone Ranger's father that he is married with the short-sighted woman and is not single. David tells him that the only problem with the job is that they don't have enough time to spend with his wife and kids. The short-sighted woman joins in on the conversation and tells him that they have 4 beautiful children. They all leave the house, and the lone leader tells David while running slowly in the rain that he did a great job for his first time in the city. Afterwards, David and the short-sighted woman sit together back in the woods and converse with each other. She asks him if he would rub some balm on her back, parts where she cannot reach on her own. He agrees and says he would like that. She takes off her gloves and applies the balm on her hand. She rolls up his clothes and he lets her rub the balm on his lower back. One day, the loners prepare to break into the hotel. The lone leader gives the loners instructions. She tells them that the rooms are Room 306, where the hotel manager and her partner live, Room 240, where lives a normal couple who like to ski dive, Room 282 belongs to a couple who both studied social sciences. They all break into the hotel. The lone leader gives all of them their tasks. David has to change his task and wants the yacht because he knows that John and his new family are in. David tries to break them up, but neither of them wants to hear what he has to say, and he leaves the yacht. In the hotel, the loner leader goes into the room of the hotel manager and her husband. She holds the manager at gunpoint and asks her husband if he loves her. He says yes, but when given a gun to shoot her, the husband pulls the trigger, but the gun is empty. The loners leave the two alone. The loner leader notices how close David and the short-sighted woman have become. She then discovers the woman's journal and reads about her plan to escape with David into the city. The loner leader and the maid take the short-sighted woman into the city to have an operation that they claim will cure her vision. But in reality, they have her blinded. The woman is left to defend herself with a knife, which the other 2 women try to take away from her. But the woman stabs the maid and leaves her to die. The short-sighted woman eventually tells David about what the loner leader did to her. He is unsettled but decides that he wants to stay with her. Later, David attacks the loner leader and ties her up. He throws her in an open grave and leaves her. David and the short-sighted woman flee into the city. They go into a restaurant and sit together for a while. David goes into the bathroom and takes a knife with which he attempts to blind himself. We never find out if he goes through with it. Here, the movie ends. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let us know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. And at last, I'm gonna say stay safe, stay well. Thank you so much for watching.